The Panasonic S5IIX was announced at the same time as its brother, the Panasonic S5II. Two similar but very capable cameras. However, the Panasonic S5IIX has a few standout features that separate it from the normal S5II. And for me personally, will these features be enough for me to change systems from Sony to Panasonic? So one of the biggest changes that Panasonic made to the S5IIX is going to be, of course, the look. It's all in black. I know that in their marketing they're joking around a little bit and calling it the Black Knight, but I think it's a really cool look. However, I know that I have troubles at times as seeing in what mode I am in, but for me it doesn't matter too much because that is probably nothing that I change all the time. But before we get into the cameras, I need to disclaim that Panasonic did fly me out to London to attend their Lumix event, where we got our first hands-on with the camera. And it was a very cool event with music, good food, ice sculptures and cool people. However, Panasonic doesn't get to see or have any say on this video, and these are my thoughts. But before we get into the difference between the cameras, let's first remind ourselves about what the similarities of these two cameras are. Both cameras have the new face detect autofocus that had been long awaited coming to a Panasonic camera, and it really works well and is very close to the competition leader Sony. It has an inbuilt fan that will save it from overheating. It has probably the best in-body stabilization of any full-frame camera. The cameras have open gate recording, which is not a novelty to Panasonic cameras, but according to me, such a big decisive feature if you're considering a full-frame camera from Panasonic, Canon or Sony for any social media use when using video clips for both horizontal and vertical shooting. And then you have all the features that we're used to from Panasonic, like shutter angle, vector scopes and waveforms. So there's a lot to like here. So guys, you know that I'm a big fan of Panasonic and the brand of cameras and what they do stand for. They really try to listen to us filmmakers and give us the features that they can, and that's probably a big reason for that is probably gonna be that they do not have a higher end camera to protect like the FX6s or the FX9s that the Sony has, and the C300, C100, C70s that of course Canon has. So my bet is that Panasonic is probably going to be the first brand to give us both internal RAW. I know that the Z9 has that, but that's not a practical camera for video shooters. And I also believe that Panasonic is going to be the first brand to actually give us internal ND filter. Panasonic said themselves on their first launch that the Panasonic S5II and the Panasonic S5IIX are their entry-level video-oriented cameras in the full-frame lineup, which lets me be very optimistic of the future of their high-end cameras. But if you think this is an entry-level camera, you are wrong. The only entry thing about these two cameras is going to be the price. They come in at $2,000 and $2,200 US, which is crazy for a workhorse of a camera that you can take on any job with great confidence. The deal gets even better if you get the cameras together with a surprisingly versatile and nimble 20-60mm kit lens for an extra $300 USD. But if you do get this camera, I would actually recommend to get it with this lens. This is the 20-60mm from the Panasonic. It is the kit lens, and I'm not saying it's perfect for every situation out there, but for the price, I mean, if you get it in a kit combo with either of the cameras, I think you pay $200 or $300 for it. So I mean, it's so cheap, and for a lot of work it's so good. I did use it in London quite a lot because it's quite small and it covers a great range. I mean, 20mm is wide enough for a lot of situations, and 60 is actually quite okay going into that telephoto area. So 20-60, even though it's not that fast, I think it's a great lens to have in your arsenal whenever you're going for the travel or whatever. I mean, autofocus is quite fast on it and the images look good and sharp. Okay, enough about the similarities, and let's look at the differences between the S5IIX and the normal S5II. When shipping, the S5IIX will be able to shoot in both Apple ProRes RAW to an Atomos Ninja V, and here is something we didn't know before the event: it will be able to record Blackmagic RAW to a Blackmagic Video Assist. And this is a big deal. Whether you are a DaVinci Resolve editor or a Final Cut Pro X user, you can now get the maximum quality for your preferred editing suite. So what am I most excited about when it comes to the S5 Mark II and especially the X? It's probably gonna be the RAW capabilities. I know that a lot of people on other cameras don't shoot RAW too much. I tend to do almost all time when I shoot in almost all the time when I do client work, I tend to shoot RAW because it is so easy, and most of the time I do need a monitor. However, on documentaries, when I do need to be very nimble and don't want to carry too much things, I tend to not shoot RAW because I don't have it internally on any body. So I'm really excited about the RAW features. Now I know that I haven't shot too much RAW yet. That's going to be another video to come very soon, because I have the firmware from Atomos to shoot RAW on the Panasonic S5 Mark II. So I'm really looking forward to be shooting more RAW. I have some test footage. And here comes another cool thing. If you already have the normal S5 Mark II, you can purchase a software key that enables the RAW features of that camera as well. So it's basically a win-win. Another thing that separates the two cameras is that on the X you have internal 1080p ProRes HQ recording and external 4K ProRes HQ into an SSD, which is really cool. On the X you will also have the ability to shoot in all intra codecs, which for me is actually really important to be able to do when shooting scenes with a lot of motion in them. Now I haven't had too much time with the S5 Mark IIX, but I will do a comparison in a future video. There are also some difference between the cameras when it comes to their streaming capabilities. On the normal S5 Mark II you can use camera to stream through your computer with the Lumix software. The S5 Mark IIX will however be able to stream wirelessly through a computer or a phone, which could be very handy and opens up streaming to be done from anywhere you have a wireless phone connection. This is something that I will try out and make a video about it. At the event, Panasonic announced that they will be bringing down the prices significantly on quite a few of their high-end lenses, such as the 24-70, which is a killer of a lens. So the price of owning a Panasonic setup will come down a lot. The 24-70 from Panasonic will, I believe, be the cheapest first-party 24-70 f2.8 lens on the market. So if I was a new video shooter, I would definitely go with Panasonic S5 Mark II or the S5 Mark IIX. Like a no-brainer, especially thinking of what Panasonic is doing with their lenses getting cheaper, with all these features, it being the best priced full frame camera with all these features. And of course I'm not including the ZV-E1.
Really important as we approach the summer months, no overheating.
So if anybody asks me what is the main selling point of the S5 Mark II and also the S5 Mark IIX, I would probably say that the price point is going to be number one, because it is the cheapest full frame camera with these features. And I'm not including the ZV-1 there. For me, the S5 Mark II and the S5 Mark IIX does have that open gate at the price point, which is unbeatable. And if you're a content creator in 2023 and you're shooting vertical video, you're shooting horizontal video, and you want to be able to shoot however you want to shoot and go in and post and change it up, and I would say that the S5 Mark II and the X are probably going to be your best choices right now. So with the S5 Mark IIX, I'm actually thinking about going back to Panasonic again. I've had a good run with Sony, but I'm really tired of what they're doing with their software on the A7S III, and that has me really bummed out. Now, are there things that Panasonic could improve? Of course. As always, there is no perfect camera. Just ask the vegetable police. No, but of course, in a future camera, like the higher end camera, whenever they decide to do that, I do expect 4K 120 because on the Sony's, or at least on the A7S III, that's a feature that I use quite a lot, that I will want to have at someday. I'm also looking at them having this great autofocus in video on the 120 slow motion as well. So those are basically the two things that I really want them to improve on. So guys, thank you so much for watching the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, of course, and hopefully we'll see more videos coming from me on the Panasonic S5 Mark II and the S5 Mark IIX. Stay tuned for more videos, and until the next time, see you soon and bye bye.